Samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arhato samma sambuddhassa sadhu. So today I will be giving you some basic instructions for any student who have already done the retreat. The instructions remains the same and they do the practice they were already doing. But I think overwhelming majority of us are new over here. So we will start with the basic instructions of the meditation, and I will also give you certain information about the orientation. So how we conduct the retreat and other things about noble silence and how it is important. So all this information I will give. Now don't be overwhelmed by this new instructions, because this will be a little bit different than what you have already received or some other meditation which you have done. So those are very subtly different, but they have a profound effect on how you practice. So this practice is also called a smiling meditation, because we insist on you smiling. So try and smile and listen to the talk and see how your mind is. Just the first thing is about how your mood changes through the smile. So just when you are listening, try and be smiling. Okay. So this practice is called Metta Vipassana. So we are using fundamentally Metta as an object of meditation. It will change as you go forward, and whatever instructions we are giving is for the training purposes. So it is not something restricted for all practices. So after you go home, you can do it as you want it, because we are not restricting you. But for practice, there are certain limitations which have been put. And as you progress also, we will change the instructions. So you may go through one person you are sending metta to a lot of people, and to all people who are there, or all beings which are there. So this instructions will also change. So as you progress, the what you experience will also change, and how you kind of perform that would change. So what first we have to see is, we have to have a happy heart. What is metta? Metta is the loving kindness. So you have to have a happy heart before you start doing the meditation. So what you do is, you imagine something which makes you happy. So you can imagine a child. Anybody who has played with a child, how does it make it feel? It makes you feel happy. If you have played with puppies, how does it make you feel? It makes you feel happy. It can be any kind of feeling. There is no preconceived notion of the happiness feeling. It can just be a calm feeling you are feeling in the heart, or it could be just a feeling which is of tingling feeling. It can be a warm feeling, it may be a cold feeling. Whatever this feeling is there for you, that is right. So there is nothing imagined. So don't imagine this feeling to be in such a way. So whatever you feel, that is correct. So what you do is, you imagine a situation which makes you happy. It can be unique situations also. Like situation like somebody said to me that whenever he looks at a big tree, he feels happy. He has genuine happiness come. Somebody said when they think about dolphins, they feel happy. Somebody said whenever they think about flowers, they make it happy. So whatever is your reason for happiness, you use that thought as the kindling to start the feeling of happiness. So you feel this happiness in your heart, and then put your attention on the heart. But let go of that thought. Don't stay with that thought. Don't stay with the thought of the baby or the tree or the dolphin. Just let go of that thought and just be with this feeling which is there. This meditation is primarily about the feeling. So 90% of your attention is there on the feeling, and 10% is there verbalization. So you can say to yourself, may I be happy, and just feel this feeling. And just this verbalization is there to remind you. If you get distracted, you come back and then you again remind yourself, may I be happy. So just for reminder, you use the verbalization, and 1% is just a visualization. Not everybody can visualize. If I ask everybody to kind of close your eyes and imagine your best friend, not everybody can have that image come to you, because it's naturally there are certain people who can visualize, certain you cannot visualize. So if you cannot visualize, don't worry about it. But if you can visualize, you have to visualize your friend in the heart. So how do we start? We start with a thought which makes you happy. You imagine a thing which makes you happy, just playing with a baby, say, and it gives gladness in your heart. This may be a very faint feeling also. Just have this feeling and start with that feeling. Just put your attention on the heart and let this feeling grow. So if you put your attention and you say, may I be happy. And you be with this feeling for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, you share with a spiritual friend. So there are certain qualities for a spiritual friend. One is that you genuinely may want that person to be happy. You genuinely see that that person is a good person, he is doing good things, and he wants to be happy. So you say, take that person, you want to genuinely see him happy. So now that person should be, if you are a male, it should be male. If you are a woman, it should be woman. Okay? It should be the same gender as you are. It should not be a relative. It should not be a person who is not among us. Okay? Who has passed away. And it should not be somebody who is gravely ill, that is on a deathbed or something like that. These instructions are there only for, as I said, for the practice. So later on this instruction can change. So what you do is, you think about something which makes you happy, you put your attention on the feeling and let the thoughts go. And just stay with this feeling. Then you can remind yourself, may I be happy. You stay there for 10 minutes. Now this 10 minutes is what feels like 10 minutes. Not the actual 10 minutes. You don't have to open your eyes and look at the clock. What feels like 10 minutes. What feels like 10 minutes, then you share it with your spiritual friend. A spiritual friend is genuinely somebody you want to see happy. It should be your same gender, should not be a relative, not have passed away, or not be gravely ill. Any person you really feel, you genuinely hope them to be better. Now, certain times it helps to have that person in your circle of know, somebody you personally know. That friend who is there or that person you are going to take should be somebody who you personally know. But if in a rare occasion, if that person is not there, you can take a person who you may know of. Say many of them ask, can I take Dalai Lama as my spiritual friend? So that can be possible. Some are the nuns are there who are very famous. So those nuns can also be taken as a spiritual friend. But that is only if you cannot find a person in your circle whom you genuinely want to share, because it always helps to have that connection. So there are many things which have happened, like where sharing. Over here in Maha Bodhi only, there was a person who was sharing with a spiritual friend, and after he went home, that spiritual friend called him and said, oh, were you remembering me for the last 9 days? Every day I thought somebody was remembering me and your face was coming up. So some kind of magical things like this can also happen. So you just stay with your spiritual friend. And you say, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and just stay with this feeling. And you don't have to push the feeling. It will go automatically. It has its own intelligence. This feeling of metta has its own intelligence. It will go when it wants to go, where it wants to go. So you just, if you can imagine or you can visualize his face, then you visualize his face in your heart. And feel that this feeling which you are feeling, it is enveloping them. After that, what you will notice is, after you have been sending to yourself or to your friend, you will notice your mind has moved away. So you are with your feeling, but then you think, oh, I am thinking about something. And this will happen maybe instantly, in a minute, in 2 minutes, that will happen. Then how do you bring your attention back? You don't bring your attention back immediately. You use a process which we call right effort, or 6 R's. So first you recognize your attention has moved away. Then you release. Release means that you do not suppress it. Release does not mean you make it go away. Release does not mean you change it. Release means you let it be. You release your attention. You release your attention from that distraction. that thought may still be there. It may still be doing its thinking. But let that thought be where it is. Bring your attention to your head or to the body. Relax. Relax, then you re-smile. So you start with a smile, and when you notice you're distracted, you re-smile. You re-smile, and then you return back to your spiritual friend or to yourself. And then you may remind yourself, may I be happy, or may my spiritual friend be happy. And then you continue. Again you will find that you have to repeat this. So the sixth step is repeat. So again you will find your attention has moved away. Why is your attention moving away? Because there is certain amount of craving which is there. There is certain amount of attachment which is there. So the thoughts may be something of anger, something of the past, something in the present, something of the future. So in the present it may be the temperature, oh it is too cold, or the train passing away, oh there is train passing away, I will be disturbed every time, or something like that. You are making up a story about the train. And all these things which are there, you will notice that you are not there with your spiritual friend. Then what you do is, you release your attention. You let that thought be as it is. You are not fighting with the thought. You are not trying to control your thought. You are not trying to be without thoughtless. Okay? You are not trying to be thoughtless or have an empty mind. You are trying to see what is there over here in the present as it is. Whatever is the reality, you are just observing the reality as it is. You are not trying to make anything happen. You are not trying to control anything. But there is an aspect of which you have no control, you will know. And there is an aspect of which you have control. Okay? So there is a prayer in the Alcoholics Anonymous which says that, let me change the things I can change. Okay? And accept the things I cannot change. And have the wisdom to know the difference. So this practice will give you this understanding, this wisdom to kind of accept the things which is there you cannot change, and change the things you can change. So the Buddha's teaching is also of the same thing about wisdom. So the Buddha's teaching starts with ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing. What we are doing over here is the knowing part. When we know what is happening over here in our mind, our attention. So the attention is very important. Where you are keeping your attention. We are not aware of where our attention is going or what our attention is doing, because we have no awareness that there is attention. We are there with whatever is there in our life. If we are talking to somebody, then our thought comes, oh, what happened in the last night, the match, what happened? And when we are talking also, we are thinking about the match. But we are not aware that our attention has moved away from this talking. And we are thinking about the match. Now, after the match, somebody comes around and say, okay, let's go for coffee. We go for the coffee. And we forgot about the match, we forgot about this conversation, and we are now with the coffee. And we are with the new conversation. And we have never understood that our attention has changed for multiple times in this period. Because we have never studied our attention. We can never study our attention because we have no awareness. So when we have awareness, we will be able to know. And we will be able to know what is happening in the present. So what you do is, whenever your attention is moved away, you recognize. And this is mentioned in this booklet. Okay, everybody should have a copy of the booklet. Okay, can we distribute these copies? Can you have? Okay, you have. So this 6 hours is something which is the foundation of what we are doing. Okay, the 6 hours which is mentioned over here. So this is the right effort the Buddha is talking about. So I want you to go through these 6 hours every time you sit for a session. Okay? You have to sit for at least 30 minutes. So every session has to be 30 minutes. If you open your eyes and see it is only 20 minutes, what you do? Close your eyes and continue sitting. So every session has to be 30 minutes. So everybody has this now? Everybody has the booklet? Okay. So this has certain instructions which has been given. So this booklet can be used as a reminder. But the basic instruction I am giving, then we can go through a guided meditation, and then later on you can practice on your own. Okay. So first what you do is you think of something which makes you happy, which gives you happiness. Start with a smile and start with a happy thought, then feel the happy thought and feel it for yourself. What you have, you can share. So then you share with a spiritual friend. A friend, you genuinely want the friend to be happy. Then when your attention moves away, then you recognize, you release, you relax, you smile and you return back. And as you are doing this, you will notice that there are certain hindrances which are arising. So what is a hindrance? Hindrance is something which hinders you in your task. So what is your task? Your task is to have the feeling of loving kindness and sharing it with your friend. And anything which comes in the process is a hindrance. So there can be pain which may come, there may be restlessness which may be there may be sloth and torpor which may be there may be strong desires which may arise, there are strong aversions which may arise, there may be doubt which may arise. So all of these are hindrances. So whenever those hindrances come, there are certain things you can do for certain hindrances, certain things which are effective. Say if you have sloth and torpor, you are sleeping, then you can sit a little bit straighter. And when you start in a comfortable position. Okay? You start in a comfortable position. Everybody will not be comfortable sitting on the floor. So if you feel that there is a lot of pain or uncomfortableness when you are there sitting, then you switch to a chair. We'll ask for more chairs. Okay? So whatever is the starting position has to be comfortable. So you have to be comfortable. If you are not comfortable on the floor, then you can sit on the chair. There is no kind of benefit on the floor. There is no benefit on the chair also. So if you are comfortable on the floor, then be on the floor also. So whatever makes you comfortable, you start with that. Say if you are feeling sleepy, then sit a little bit straighter than what you normally sit. When you sit a little bit straighter than you normally sit, then when you get sleep, you will be able to catch yourself. And then you will be able to kind of control what is happening, or you are able to kind of see what is happening very clearly. If you have restlessness, then you have to smile more. What is restlessness? It is over energy. So you have to be relaxing. You have to smile. And you have to just let go. You have to be more softer when you are restless. And you have to put in energy when you are sleepy. What you do is, you take more interest in your spiritual friend. You try and imagine their smile. Or try and imagine how they will look happy. So you put more interest in your friend. If you are feeling sleepy, then you put more energy into this practice. So if any other thoughts come of aversion or strong desire, what you do is you siksar them. What you do is you recognize those things, release your attention from it. That does not mean that blame yourself also. Sometimes when you notice that you are getting distracted, you blame yourself. How can I get distracted? I have been doing meditation for 10 years. Why am I getting distracted? But don't blame yourself also. Just recognize it as it is. You release your attention, relax, re-smile and return back, and repeat when it is needed. So again, when you are having doubts, then what is the best way to clear doubts? Ask questions. So anytime when we are reading, so from next tomorrow, we will be reading from the Buddha's words, which is called suttas. So the teachings which the Buddha has given, we will give. We'll show how this are very practical. And the Buddha is giving from his own experience. It is not some divine kind of revelation which the Buddha has got, but it is experimentation. It is trying out 100 things. The Buddha has found this way. So it is not something which is magical. It is very practical. The Buddha, what is teaching is also very practical. You can understand what the Buddha is saying. It is not something which is very hidden. So from tomorrow we will start giving you certain information. Say we will give you, the first day is by far the most difficult, because you have come from your world, and now when you have come from your world, that thing is still rolling. You are thinking about your job, you are thinking about your house, you are thinking about the travel, or things which you may have forgotten, things you may have kind of left behind. All these things is going on in your mind. So that first day will be a little difficult. You will have difficulty in understanding the instructions. The doubt can be get rid of by asking questions, by getting more information. So over here we have a Shubham who is there and Raj Mahendra who are assisting us. Okay, so they will be there, and Sachin is there, but I don't want Sachin to be disturbed that much. So he has come for his practice. So, but he is also available for clarifications. So only maybe senior students who are there, who have already done the retreat, can approach Sachin. But anybody who is doing it for the first time, they can approach Shubham and Raj Mahendra and ask questions if you do not know. But do not talk among yourselves. Don't ask the other person, what was the instruction about? How did it happen? How was the practice? So you have to maintain a noble silence. Okay? So that noble silence is very important. Because what happens is when you talk, you disturb your mind. Okay? And you disturb the other's mind. And you disturb anybody who is listening to you. Okay? So one thing you have to do is you have to maintain silence. You have to take this retreat as if you are alone. I think the instructions have been given. Huh? So, and there is also a volunteer, no? Who is the volunteer? Okay, you. So, ensure that people don't talk, okay? If repeatedly people are not following the instructions, then we will have to take disciplinary action. We have not done that. For the last 3 years I have come, I have been more and more lenient, but this time we need to ensure that we maintain discipline. Okay, we are all adults. Any child is there over here? No, I don't see any. But mentally I cannot see, so maybe somebody is very childish. So just don't be childish, okay? Just for the 10 days when you are here, maintain this discipline which is there. Okay, and that will show up in how your practice is going. So instructions are very simple. You have to just be with this feeling of loving kindness and share this loving kindness with your spiritual friend. When you are sitting, one of the major things which happens is you may get pains. Okay, and this pain are of two types. One is called the meditation pain. And how do you notice it is a meditation pain? So when you are sitting and doing your meditation, you may find there is a pain which is there, and your attention goes over there to the pain. So what you do is you siksar that. You recognize your attention is there, you release your attention from that, relax, re-smile, and return back to this feeling, your spiritual friend. Again, this pain may be powerful. Your attention goes again. Then what you do is relax over the edges of the pain. Wherever this pain is there, relax on the edges of this pain. You just relax there, then you come back, relax the body, smile, and come back to your spiritual friend. So you keep on letting go of that pain. But after half an hour, you have sat for 30 minutes, I have said 30 minutes is the minimum. You can sit for as long as you possibly can, but minimum is 30 minutes. If you open your eyes and it's only 20 minutes, you close your eyes and continue. See, after you get up and you find this pain has not gone, certain times what happens is just the determination you take that I am going to get up, the pain goes away. Or it goes away when you get up, or you goes away in a minute when you are walking. Then this pain is a meditation pain. But say if this pain does not go, it stays with you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then this is a physical pain. Now when it is a physical pain, you have to be careful with it. Next time, don't sit in that same position which you got that pain. So try and change the position. One thing you can do is, if you are sitting on the ground, you can start using extra cushions. Are there extra cushions over there? We can provide them. Okay. So we can provide some extra cushions also. So use extra cushions. Say if your back was paining, then you can put your back to the wall and take the support of the wall. You can use some small cushion to give support to your spine. The last spine which is there, you put some cushion below the last spine which is there. That will give you a support. Certain times when knees are paining, you put cushions on the knee, that gives you support. So whatever helps. Then what helps is sitting on the chair. When you are sitting on the chair, it may be comfortable, but don't touch your back to the back of the chair. You just sit a little bit further by keeping a little bit of gap, and you can put a cushion in the spine area, the below spine, this area you can put a cushion and sit like that. Another thing which helps when sitting on the chair is, see that your leg, the knee is in a 90-degree angle. That helps. If your knee is in a 90-degree angle, that would help you, because certain times when your knee is down, it puts pressure on the knee. If his knee is a little bit upper than your body, then also it gets pressure. So for that you can put a cushion on your leg to kind of balance. So when you are sitting on the chair also, sit in a way which does not create pain. Okay. So ensure that when you start your session, you are not in pain or uncomfortable. No need to sit in the kind of lotus position or something like that. There is no advantage for that. We are working with the mind. We are not working with the body. Okay. So this is a gentle smiling meditation. Okay. You have to do it in a gentle smiling manner. You should not be harsh with yourself also. You should not blame yourself. You should not be cursing yourself. If your attention moves away 50 times and 50 times you are able to bring it back, that is a good meditation. It's not a bad meditation. So only time when you are not meditating is when you get a thought and you stay with that thought. That is the only time you have abandoned the meditation. Okay. So whenever there is a distraction, you recognize this, you release your attention, relax, re-smile and return back. If it happens 50 times, you do it 50 times. That's not a problem. One other thing is, you only siksar when it is needed. Don't siksar when you may have a thought, but you are still with your spiritual friend. Then you are not trying to get rid of all the thoughts in your mind. Let the thought be there. But if you are still with your spiritual friend, then just continue meditation. Okay? If you are still with your spiritual friend and your spiritual friend is there and you are thinking about office or house or something which happened 20 years ago, and then that can still go on and on, but you can still be with your friend. But that may have some power, and then it may kind of take all your attention, and you are there kind of with that thought. When you recognize that you are not with your spiritual friend anymore, what you do is release, relax, re-smile, return back, and stay with your spiritual friend. That thought may still be there, and let that thought be. So you should not try to suppress all your thoughts. It is not about suppressing thoughts. It is about learning what is there. So how do you learn from this process? You learn that how certain things are impersonal. As we talked about, there are certain things in our control. So certain things are not in our control. What thought arises is not in their control. We see that, okay, this thought arose, and then there is this pattern. This thought is arising again and again. then you see this pattern of this thought. When you recognize that this is not me, this is not mine, then you can let that go. And then you come back to your spiritual friend. Then you see that everything is impermanent. When there is pain also, the pain will not remain at one level. So if you give a pain a number of say 8, so sometimes it will be 6, sometimes it will be 3, sometimes it will be 9. But it will not remain the same. The pain will also be keeping changing. There is everything which is there is impermanent. The thoughts are there. The thoughts is also impermanent. So you see what is impermanent in this. And you learn about dukkha. What is dukkha? What is the definition of dukkha? The simplest definition of dukkha given by our teacher Bhante Vimalamsi is, this is truth. And this is you fighting against the truth. Okay? So whenever there is resistance, there is dukkha. So the Buddha gives an example of a person being hit by an arrow. The arrow hits his leg and then that is pain. He cannot stop the pain. But then what he adds to it is, why did it happen to me? I am such a good person. Why did I deserve this? Who shot it? With what kind of arrow it was shot? And this pain should stop. All these things which is there, we are fighting with the truth. That is the dukkha. So even the Buddha had pain. He had back pain. But he did not have dukkha. So wherever it is mentioned where he is in pain, it is mentioned clearly that clearly and mindfully he could see this and endure this pain. He was not creating dukkha for himself. So that is also you will see in your practice, that where am I resisting? So that comes to the concept of the hindrances which are there. So the hindrances are not our enemies, they are our friends. Why are they our friends? Because they teach us where our attachments lie. So what is taking you away again and again? Is it your past thoughts? Then you know that, okay, my past, I am attached to my past. And then you can let it go. Is your thoughts more and more about the future? Then you know, okay, I am attached to the future. Is it more and more about the present? Then you see, I am attached to whatever is happening in the present. I am attached to the weather, or the temperature, or the sound, or what others are doing. Why is he doing that? If that thoughts are coming up, then you know that you are more worried about others than you are worried about what you are doing. So hindrances are not your enemies. You are not trying to fight the hindrances. You are not trying to kill the hindrances. You are trying to learn from it. So hindrances are not your enemies. They are your friends, because they reveal to you where your attachments lie. So as those things come up, you recognize, release, relax, re-smile and return back. And you continue doing that as long as is possible. Then after 30 minutes, you have to also do this walking meditation. So what we are doing is, we are giving you a lot of time to rest. Okay? Over here the schedule is, you wake up at 5:30. Okay? You sleep at 10. Today you may sleep a little early, you have come from journey and all these things. You may sleep maybe at 9. Okay? But daily you will sleep at 10 and wake up at 5:30. So how much hours are that? 7.5 hours. Okay? That is 7.5 hours of sleep you get. That is more than what you get normally in life, if you are doing job or something like that. And then at afternoon also you are getting some time. So you can have a half an hour nap of that in the afternoon. So you can get 8 hours of sleep comfortably. Okay? In a day. So rest of the time you have to spend in meditation. You are getting some time in breakfast also, some time in lunch, and after tea also they are getting some time. So you are getting some personal time which you have been allocated, and rest of the time you have to spend in meditation. So if you have sat for 30 minutes, then you have to walk for 15 minutes. So how do you normally do is, you have sat in the meditation, when you get up you go here and there, do this and that. That is not what you do over here. What you do is, when you get up, you start walking. There are many places where you can walk. Wherever there is open space, you can walk. Now you can walk back and forth. When you are walking, you are not looking here and there. You are not walking to kind of have the sights and sounds. You are walking just for continuing of your practice. So when you are walking, when you are getting up, you be very mindful and open your eyes and gently get up and stay with this practice. If you are there with your spiritual friend, you stay with your spiritual friend and start walking. The sitting meditation and walking meditation will not be of the same intensity. Your distractions will be more. But by doing walking meditation, you will learn something, how to take this meditation into life. If you are not able to take something which is you are learning into life, then that is of no use. Then you cannot always sit down and concentrate. You cannot get always 10 days to kind of calm your mind. But this is a useful skill you can take to your life. So while walking, you also learn how to take it in your life. And if what helps is just imagining your friend also being with you and walking with you. That also helps. If you can be with this feeling, just be with this feeling and sharing of this feeling with your friend, and put your attention where you are walking. Maybe 10 feet ahead of you. But don't look here and there. Just walk, and after 15 minutes what you will do is you will come back and sit. When you do that, you will find that the sitting will also be better. Because when you are sitting, what happens is the blood goes into your legs. So you are sitting for a long time. When you walk, the blood starts circulating. It goes to your mind also. And it goes to your brain. And when you come back, you may have more clarity. But don't use this time for doing other chores or something like that after session. After session, you walk, and after walking, you come back and sit. And then you continue this cycle, because rest of the things which you have to do, say wash the clothes or something like that, you can do after the lunch. After breakfast, there is time. You can do whatever you want to do in that time. And rest of the time, you just do sitting and walking meditation. Most of the time, you spend over here. Okay? After third day, we may allow you to use the pagoda. So when you use the pagoda, there are certain rules, certain timings which are there, which you have to follow. So you can't sit after the session. We will have 5:30 every day. Today it was delayed because people were still coming. So 5:30 we will have. So before that, before the tea or coffee, the break, tea, coffee break, you can use the pagoda. But after that, after you come over here, don't use it in the night time. Okay, you can sit over here, and certain times you have, if you have been given permission by me, only then you can sit in your room and do meditation. Okay, certain times I specifically give permission to sit. That is when we are speaking to you. Now, when we will speak to you is also after one day of practice. So tomorrow there will not be any interviews. Okay, tomorrow evening we will give you a schedule. So everybody will be given a time slot. And there will be a certain amount of questions which are asked. Those questions are mentioned over here. We will talk about the interview tomorrow. So each one of you will have an opportunity to speak with me, interact, get clarification. Okay? So don't worry if the first day is a little difficult. Certain things you do for the first time, it may be a little difficult. Okay? So just we will try and do as much as possible. If you have doubts in the middle, you can look at the booklet, or you can ask Shubham or Raj Mahendra and get clarifications. Okay? And you continue with this practice. Okay? You have to do 30 minutes of sitting. After 30 minutes sitting, you walk for 15 minutes. After that, come and sit. If you have pain, just be sure what the pain is about. If it is a meditation pain, it is best that you try and understand. So hindrance is not your enemy, it is your friend. Okay? It is showing you where your attachment is. Maybe this attachment is with the pain which you have. And you are sure now that it is not a physical pain. So then you spend a little more time. One more thing you have to do is, whenever you are getting up, you have to ask yourself, why am I getting up? Can I sit a little longer? Can I extend it by 5 minutes? You just talk to yourself. You say, can I extend it by 5 minutes? Then extend it by 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, again your mind will say, get up. or you're restless, or you may have a satisfaction, oh, I haven't did enough, I think it went well, I want to get up. Then again you say, can I sit for 5 minutes? Why am I getting up? If I am comfortable and I can kind of 6 hour or let go of whatever has come up, can I sit for 5 minutes more? Then sit for 5 minutes more. And after that, maybe the third time your mind says, get up, then maybe you can get up. That is not a problem. You are not always going against the mind, but on the third time, if the mind still says, get up, then you can get up and start walking. Do the walking meditation, come back and do the sitting. So always ask before breaking your sitting, why am I breaking this sitting? Okay? And take more and more interest in your spiritual friend and what is happening. Okay? As you are doing it, this feeling may also change. And certain times this feeling may fade away. But when you fade away, you can just think of a thought, and that thought can be different thought also. Once you thought about, say, puppies, and once you thought about a child, that is okay. You don't have to stay with that thought also. And when you think about that thought, let go of that thought. Don't get involved in that thought also. Okay? Just let that thought go, stay with the feeling, and just continue with this feeling, which is of happiness, love, kindness. It may be warm feeling, it may be a bright feeling, it may be a very faint feeling. It's okay. We don't judge. Okay? We have no ideas or preconceived notion of what this feeling should be. Whatever the feeling is there, we stay with that feeling. Okay? And we continue this practice. So, is there any questions? Did you understand everything? Oh, that is very good. I am a very good teacher then. Huh? So, any doubts you have, you feel free to ask. And from tomorrow when I am reading, and while reading you have some doubt come up, you just raise your hand and ask the question. Okay? You don't have to wait for me to finish before you ask questions. Okay? If you have any doubt, please feel. Yes.
Do we have to stick to one spiritual friend, or can we have a...
Yes, we have to stick to one spiritual. That's a good question. Yes, we have to stick to one spiritual friend till the time we tell you to do the other thing, you know. So, there is a progression. So, you start with the one spiritual friend, you stay with that one spiritual friend, and there is a time which will come. That's the reason we are also having interviews. So, we will have an interaction. So, at that time, we may advise you to do something else. And that time you can change. Okay? Till that time, you stay with the one spiritual friend. That's a good question. Yes?
Excuse me. If you don't get a spiritual friend in the same gender, what should we do?
I told you that you can take a person whom you know of, who is a really nice person, who does good things, and you sincerely believe that that person is a good person. You can take that person. Yes.
To the spiritual friend, we need to tell about that happiness feeling that we experienced? Or?
No, you don't have to talk to the spiritual friend. You have to just stay with the feeling with the intention of sharing it with the spiritual friend. So you stay with the intention of sharing, not talking to the friend. Then your mind can become very busy and restlessness can also come. So don't talk to the friend. Just say once, may you be happy, and just stay with the feeling. So as I told that 90% of your attention is on the feeling. Out of the 10%, 9% is there on the verbalization. So just to remind yourself, when you get distracted, you come back, just to remind yourself, you can say, may my friend be calm. And then just stay with the feeling. 1% is visualization. If you can visualize your friend, then visualize your friend in your heart, and you are enveloping yourself with this nice feeling. So whatever nice feeling is there, you are feeling, you just want to share it with your friend. As you pay attention, this thing will change, and let it change. You are not trying to control it also. It can fade away also. It can become very soft or very faint. It's okay. Just stay with this. It can become very bright. It can do some fantastic things like glow. But let's just be with that. It does not matter. The faintness is not bad. The glowness is not good. It is just what it is. It is the current state which is there. So whatever is there, you just stay with that. And whatever I have, I can share. If I have this, I can share this. If I have this, I can share this. Whatever I have, I share. So in that same way, whatever you have, you share with your friend. So you just imagine yourself sitting in the couch, your friend comes in, you are having chips. What you do is you give the chips to him. If you are having pakoras, then you give pakoras to him. So whatever I have, I will give. Whatever feeling I have, I give to my friend. But don't talk to your friend. Okay? And you don't have to inform your friends. You don't ask for the phone that I want to inform. They will know or not know. One interesting story I will tell you, which happened to my teacher Bante Vimaranam Singh. He was giving a retreat in Bali. At that time, there was a student of his who was doing the retreat with him. And then she came to Bante and said that something amazing happened. My spiritual friend called me. Then he asked to give me more information. He said, I had not seen her from many years. When I was studying in USA, I had a friend who helped me a lot. And that time they were in, I think, junior college or something like that. So they lost touch many years back. So now they were not in contact. So I took her because she was a very nice person. She supported me and kind of helped me when I was in a foreign land. So she was a very nice person. So I took her as a spiritual friend. Now she called me and I was very surprised. How did you get my number? I am in a retreat center over here. She said, I was remembering you. I thought you were remembering me. And I got this feeling that I want to get in touch with you. Then what she did was she went to the website, alumni website, and she got her home's number. From their home, she got the emergency contact of the retreat center. Then she called the retreat center number and asked, is my friend over there? And they said, yes. And then they called and they had a conversation. So that can happen. So there can be magical things, but we are not expecting that, or we are not doing it for that. We are doing it for our own understanding. But I am saying that this can be very powerful. So you don't have to tell them, your friend, that I had you as your spiritual friend or something like that. But it is for you to share. So this is also called a generosity, practice of generosity. So generosity, how does the generosity start? It starts with your mind. The good thoughts which you have, good feelings which are there, good wishes which are there. That is what you share. That is the generosity which starts. Then it starts with speech. The second thing is speech. So you say good things, you say encouraging things, you say things which are positive. That is the generosity with your speech. Then the generosity with your body, you smile and you express your smile. You do something, somebody wants to help with physical, you help with them. And anyway, you can do it with yourself. Anything you can help the others. That is with the body. So that generosity is there. So what we are learning is the generosity of the mind. Okay, and Buddha says there is a lot of merit. If nobody believes in merit, it's okay. But the Buddha says there is a lot of merit in doing metta. So they say, Buddha said that even if you do it for this amount of time it takes to snap a finger, that is more merit than you can get from Ashwamedha Yagna. That is a yagna which was performed in the ancient times. So that is a lot of good can come to you also, because what you give out, that you receive. If you go out love and happiness, you receive love and happiness. So you just start giving them, and what you get as a bonus is the wisdom, is understanding what is happening. You understand what are the hindrances are there. You understand how to handle the hindrances. You understand what is happening, how impermanence is there, how dukkha is there. And then you understand how the impersonality is there. So you gain more and more insight into what is there, what is this thing which is there, what is this, what is happening over here in the present. What is that I am not able to understand. There is always a feeling which is there, that I am not able to understand. I am here in this world, but something is off, But you will know from where you will know. You will know this and you will know the truth. The Buddha gives a very good example is with the example of poison. If I was to give this and say it is a very bitter kind of drink, very bitter, and it is poison, will you have it? No, nobody will have that bitter, and it is poison and I can die from that. Why would I have it? But I say, okay, I'll sweeten it. I'll make it a very kind of a milkshake kind of thing, which is very sweet and nice and creamy, but it is still a poison and still you will die. Will you have it? No, just because it is sweet, you will not consume it. What if I give you something which is bitter, but it is medicinal, like bitter gourd juice, karela ka juice? If I give you that, maybe you will have it because you say, okay, there is some nice qualities which are there, which I can benefit from that juice because it's medicinal. But if I give something which is sweet and it is medicinal, like if your stomach gets upset, what you do is you put curd, you put honey, molasses, and mix and make a kind of a medicine out of it. So you will consume it. So why do you consume the medicine and why do you consume not consume the poison? Because you know. So that is the knowing which we gain, that what is poison and what is the medicinal things. So you stay away from what is poisonous and you stay with what is medicinal, okay, what is useful. Even if it is bitter, if it is medicinal, you will stay with it. Sometimes the practice may be bitter, it may be having restlessness of mind, it may have sloth and torpor, okay, it may have strong desires, aversions, doubts, all of this comes up. But you stay with this practice because it is medicinal. It is giving you more and more insight. It is giving you understanding. It is giving you wisdom. And when you know, only then you can change. The information I am giving you is not possible for you to get awakened or get insight or wisdom. Because Buddha also, when the first sermon the Buddha gave, he had 5 disciples of his who heard him. But only one got to a Sotapanna. Okay, Kondanya could understand. He got the understanding. But what happened to the 4? They did not. They had to do a little bit more practice because that level of understanding had not developed in them. So there are other suttas also which mentions how they kind of continue the practice. Sometimes 3 people go and get the food for all of them. Sometimes 2 people go and get the food for all of them because they are all practicing. So they are practicing and developing their ability. So it was not possible for the Buddha also to grant you awakening. Okay? And whatever we are doing from the practice which the Buddha has taught. We will read from the Buddha's teaching. And the Buddha's teaching we will show is very practical. It is not very mystical. It is not very kind of complicated. He is talking to people. Okay? And that is how the conversational way the information is conveyed. So we will go through different suttas. Tomorrow I will take a sutta on hindrances, which helps in hindrances. It is called Majjhima Nikaya 19, which is 2 kinds of thought. So we will go through that sutta. So we will be constantly giving you feedback. So if there are any kind of doubts or anything, just ask questions. Okay.
Panditji, please once again explain me how to convey our wishes to spiritual world. My understanding is how to convey means that I have to wish him be happy, free from illness. Like that every time I have to repeat it or once I have to say and then stay away.
Yeah, you have to say once and stay with it. If you repeat, it becomes like a mantra and it kind of loses its kind of power. Okay, anything which you repeat again and again, it loses its power, So you just say, may you be happy and be with the intention. Be with the intention and just stay with this feeling. With this feeling you stay and let the feeling go and do something. Sometimes the feeling feels over here, sometimes it may feel that it is going out, but that does not matter. What you stay with the intention that what I am feeling, I am able to share. Okay? Yes.
Whenever we are saying ourselves that may you be happy, at that time, every time we have to visualize our spiritual.
No need to visualize every time. Just when you are kind of distracted, you use 6 R's. You recognize, you release, relax, re-smile and return back. When you return back, just as a reminder, you say, may you be happy and just stay with this feeling. Okay? And you continue with this practice. So whenever you sit, 10 minutes you send to yourself, rest of the time you send to your spiritual friend. If you are sitting for 30 minutes, 20 minutes will be with your spiritual friend. If you are sitting for an hour, 15 minutes will be with your spiritual friend. Okay? And also in walking, yes.
So after how much time are we shifting to spiritual friend?
10 minutes. What feels like 10 minutes? Don't have to open your eyes and see the clock. If it feels like 10 minutes or if it feels all right, you just start with your spiritual friend.
So rest 20 minutes would be that.
Rest of the time, so if you are sitting for an hour, then 15 minutes will be with your spiritual friends. If you are sitting for 30 minutes, 20 minutes will be with your spiritual friend.
Then while walking?
While walking, you stay with your spiritual friend. So you kind of break your sitting very mindfully. Slowly you get up and start doing that. And you're walking, you can do it at normal pace. You don't have to be very slow in walking. Just do it at normal pace to have some kind of circulation going on. So your heartbeat should grow faster. So how do you know how you are doing walking good? Your heartbeat should be a little faster. So that is the pace you have to do. A little bit of faster walking. You can go back and forth. You can walk in circles, whatever works for you. And you just be with your spiritual friend. Yes.
How do I know the time? Basically 30 minutes is done. Like, is there any...
No, you sit as long as you can. Okay. But if you open your eyes and see that it is less than 30 minutes, then close your eyes and continue.
Will there be any clock here?
There is a clock over there. Can we put a clock over here? Huh? Is there a clock? Huh?
We'll put a clock there.
Okay. I have a small clock. If it helps, I'll give it to you.
This one?
Yeah, one is there. But if somebody is sitting, then he wants to see, then I can give you a small clock if I have. I should have brought it. I'll just check. Yes.
In which scenarios are we getting back to ourselves?
We start with ourselves, okay? Then we share it with. So what you are feeling, only you are sharing.
So if I don't feel something to share,
Then you can again generate a thought and just feel this feeling and then share it with your friend. For the first 10 minutes you stay with yourself. Say you got distracted. You come back and you feel that this does not feel that your feeling is feeling. Then you just think about something which makes you happy. Again you smile. And if you are feeling it more of the times that you are not able to feel this, then see that if you are smiling enough. So when my teacher says smile, it says you smile with your mind, you smile with your eyes, you smile with your lips, and you smile with your heart. Okay? This all should be in a smiling way. It's not just with the lips. Okay? With your mind, eyes, and heart also you smile. Then you see this is not happening, only then you will feel that this feeling you are not feeling. If you are smiling enough, you will feel that happiness. There are many research which has been done on the smile. Just by putting a pen in your lips and you just raising your lips upward, they have found that the mood changes, becomes a little bit positive. So there has been a lot of research that smiling really helps. Okay? So just ensure that you smile. Sometimes it may feel fake also, but just let go of that thought that it's fake or something like that. Just keep smiling. And the people who are smiling, just ask yourself, how is your mind feeling now? After smiling for some time, how is your mind feeling? How is it feeling? You will feel that there is some kind of lightness is there. This lightness is needed to see how your attention is moving. The definition of mindfulness given by my teacher is remembering to observe how mind's attention moves from one thing to another and how this whole process is impersonal. Okay? So to see how your mind's attention is moving from one thing to another. So I started with saying that we are not aware of our movement of our attention. So we will be aware of how the mind's movement is going from one thing to another and how to bring it back. And that is what we can do. We can let it go. When we recognize, we can release. That is our will. They say the free will which is there, it's a debate is there. So when you have awareness, only then you can siksar. If there is no awareness, there is no siksar. And there is no awareness, there is no free will. Because whatever has come from the past comes in the present and you react to that, and that creates your future. Where free will comes up? When you are able to recognize and release. You don't react, you start responding. Okay? So you are out of reactions and respond. So wherever you want your attention to be, there it can be. Okay? That is the concept of samadhi. That your mind can be wherever it wants to be, it just can be over there. If it wants to be in something which you want to do now, reading, then you will see that when you are reading, your mind is going here and there. But now you will train your mind. So I have given enough instructions. So we will do a little bit of guided meditation. So I'll ask Raj to sit. You can maybe sit over here and do it. And Shubham can take. So हिंदी वाले जो है शुभम के साथ जा सकते हैं. वहाँ पे जो डाइनिंग एरिया है वहाँ पे और एक बार वो इंस्ट्रक्शन दे देंगे और उसके साथ में वो एक गाइडेड मेडिटेशन भी ले लेंगे. तो अभी 9 बजे तक करना है. So we have 45 minutes. So try and practice for that time. Okay? 9 o'clock जो है आपका स्लीपिंग टाइम आज के लिए है और 10 बजे जो रहेगा हर दिन के लिए. ये जो आपका शेड्यूल है, ये शेड्यूल जो है आपको फॉलो करना है. तो 5:30 बजे आपको आना है यहाँ पे. और उससे पहले ऐसा रहेगा तो हम जो है 8 प्रीसेप्ट्स जो है वो हम यहाँ पे ले लेते हैं और उसके साथ में हम यहाँ पे ये प्रोग्राम चालू करते हैं. ओके? So everybody we'll take the 8 precepts over here. So just look at this and we can follow.
One more question. Frequently the brain movements are going. At the time our mind gets distracted. Again we get to apply 6 hours.
Yes.
Again we are gone.
So you will feel some people will not be affected by the train. Some people will be affected by the train. So now the people who are affected by the train, they know that their hindrance is the noise and disturbance. So then don't take it as an enemy. Take it as a friend, which kind of helps you in the practice. Okay? You start with this thing, huh? Like this.
Bhante, please give us 3 refuges so my mind will become peaceful. And
Please sit with your back straight, calm your mind, and now repeat after me. I now take refuge in the Buddha. I now take refuge in the Buddha. I now take refuge in the Dhamma. I now take refuge in the Dhamma. I now take refuge in the Sangha. I now take refuge in the Sangha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Buddha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Dhamma. For the second time, I take refuge in the Sangha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Buddha. For the third time, I take refuge in the Dhamma. For the third time, I take refuge in the Sangha.
we can read it together. Bhante,
Please
please give us
The 8 precepts. So my retreat will be great benefit and my mind will be peaceful. Thank you.
Please clear your mind and pay close attention, then repeat after me. I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from killing or harming living beings on purpose.
I undertake to keep the precepts to abstain from killing or harming living beings on purpose.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from taking what is not freely given.
I undertake to keep
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from all sexual activity.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from all sexual activities.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from telling lies, harsh speech, gossip, or slander.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from telling lies, harsh speech, gossip, or slander.
And this also applies to silence. You undertake to keep the noble silence. Okay. I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from using recreational drugs and alcohol.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from using recreational drugs and alcohol.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from eating solid food after the noonday meal.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from eating solid food after the noonday meal.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from listening to music, singing, dancing, or beautifying my body with makeup, flowers, or perfumes.
I undertake to keep the precept to abstain from listening to music, singing, dancing, or beautifying my body with makeup, flowers, or perfumes.
I undertake to keep the precept to be loving and kind to myself and all beings.
I undertake to keep the precept to be loving and kind to myself and all beings.
Now you have taken the 3 refuges and the 8 precepts, and these lead to happiness and peace. So one more thing is about the precepts of noonday meal. So many of us may require to have food after the midday meal, that is in the evening, for medical reasons or some other reasons. They, when in the morning will have these precepts, if they are there over here, they should not be silent. They should not take that precept and just be silent. If you are going to have the evening meal, then be silent, okay? And just take the 7 precepts. But when you are taking the precepts about speech, that also includes this, the commitment you have given for the noble silence, okay? So just follow that, and don't talk among yourself also, and refrain from kind of talking too much with the other monks and other people, okay? So we will end this session now, and then Shubham can take Hindi group over there, and Raj, you can come and give the guided meditation. Sadhu.